Welcome to the Women's World of Backgammon Learning Session. Our featured speaker today is Kristen Westerman, who is director of the Nashville Backgammon Association. She's been a lifelong backgammon player, but really has only taken it up seriously in the last 2 years. She started playing national and international tournaments in 2025. And she's reached one of her bucket goals by placing third in the intermediate division of the Backgammon World Championship, the 56th Backgammon World Championship in Monte Carlo last August. She's currently one of 10 women, at the top of 10 women players in the World Backgammon Internet Federation World Women's Championship that's going on right now in the qualifier in the Americas region. Uh, the most exciting part about her, though, is that motivated by her passion for backgammon and her love of her home city of Nashville, Tennessee, she set out to bring a major nationally recognized backgammon tournament to Nashville. And it's a destination event that reflects the energy, hospitality, and character of Music City. This tournament, the Music City Backgammon Open, is organized by Kristen. It's directed by the well-known director Rory Pascar. And it will be held in Nashville, Tennessee, September 23rd to 27th this year. And you really won't want to miss a lot of the features. I'm personally going to take her up on Tuesday, September 22nd, to go to the Grand Ole Opry. I must confess I've never been, so I'm very much looking forward to joining the group of people who will be doing that evening. And then it kicks off with Backgammon Masters awarding body event on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, there's a special women's tournament called the Bachelorette Party. I did not even know that Nashville was the bachelorette capital of the United States. And so that's going to be a really fun event. The Women's World of Backgammon is pleased to be a sponsor of that event. We'll be providing a white puffer jacket to keep you warm at tournaments. It may be hot outside, but it's always cold in the playing room. With the Women's World of Backgammon logo prominently displayed. And we'll also be launching the new backgammon board, Women's World of Backgammon board at that tournament and the streaming that takes place there. So if you want more details on that tournament, you could find it at musiccitybackgammon.com and enjoy seeing all of the events that are on display there. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kristen. She's going to focus on how to use backgammonstudio.com to improve your skill. So this is different from Heroes. It's actually a precursor to Heroes. So the website is backgammonstudio.com. Kristen, it's all yours.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate it. And I'm so excited to have the tournament in Nashville. And I hope that you guys can all come. We'll have an amazing time. So yeah, reach out with any questions about that kind of stuff. So tonight's topic is using Backgammon Studio to help improve your checker play, your cube play, and just improve your game. I kind of stumbled on it. Someone said, "Hey, I don't even remember who it was, but they're like, did you know that Backgammon Studio Heroes has a sister site called Backgammon Studio, and there's a bunch of functionality in there?" And I said, "Okay, how do I do it?" And it's the same login that you use for Heroes. And I started poking around as I am known to do, and I came across this simple little workflow that I'm going to walk you all through. And just doing this for half an hour in the morning, or just here and there over the last 3 or 4 months, it has really changed my PR. And it's just a great exercise to watch perfect play. I'm very much a pattern recognition type person. I'm very much a show me learner. The books are great, but they take it from the perspective of the detail and then expect you to build this structure, right, in your head about how everything fits together. The approach that I'm going to show you is more visual, and it's more constructural in terms of you have a construct and now you can start filling in the pieces. And for me, that's just how I learn best. So hopefully what I share with you will resonate, and it's something that you guys can put into practice yourselves. And it's just, you can easily do this with just 20 or 30 minutes at a time, and I think it'll help you a lot. So what I'm going to do is share my screen, and then I'll walk you through how to access what we're doing. And then we'll jump over into Backgammon Studio, and we'll do what I normally do, which is just walk through matches. So let me share my screen. Okay. And get here and do from beginning. Okay, so real quick, again, Backgammon Studio workflow. We're just going to be looking at match review, active learning training techniques to help improve your backgammon play. And the website is the backgammonstudio.com. You're, like I mentioned, you're going to use your same login that you do for Backgammon Studio Heroes. And then we're just going to go down to this little tab called Matches List. And this is in the link in the email that I sent earlier. So you guys all have a copy of this that you can refer to. Can everybody see it okay? If you can't see it, or let me know, okay?
Yes, looks good.
Okay, cool. Thumbs up. So then once you're logged in, you just go down to where it says Matches List. And here's just a couple little quick steps, and I hope this wasn't too busy. But the first thing we're going to do is sort by our PR, because we want to look at the matches that have the lowest possible PR. Then we're going to, if we wanted to, we could also search for a particular player. I'll show you how to do that. Then we're going to look for the players to have low PRs. So in this case, Mochi and Katagami have really low PRs, and it's also a large match, 11-point match. So I usually go for 11s or 13s, something like that. And then you click on it and play. So let's do it. Okay. If I go too fast, you guys tell me, but I'm going to get over there now. So here we are. I'm in Backgammon Studio, so I'm already logged in. I'm going to go to Matches List. If you don't want to search for anyone, you don't have to. This is, you can just scroll up and choose like the blank here. And now you can see like there's a bunch of matches in here, right? So first thing is you have who plays white, what their PR was, who won, who they were playing, what their checker color was, what their PR was, if they won, the length of the match, and then where the match was played and the date. So what we want to do is click this little button right here, said PR, and that's going to put the lowest PR at the top. Okay. And then what I typically do is I just scroll down until I find one that has two players with low PRs. That's a decent, that both people have a low PR. So here's that one that I was talking about. That's Mochi and Katagami. And then you just click on play. Everybody with me so far? Okay. So this is what it looks like when it comes up. So typically what I do is I literally just block out the right-hand side of my screen from view as I'm doing this, because I don't want to see the answer. And I'm focusing only on the left part of the screen. And up here at the top, you can see here's Katagami. He's playing the black checker. There's the score. It's a match to 11. Here's Mochi's score. He is playing the white checker. You can see that little bubble head there at the top. If this box right here is checked, that means it's the Crawford game. You can see the board here. There's the initial roll. So what I typically do is I look at the roll and I say, okay, 24 to 18, 13 to 11. So in my mind, I'm running through what that play is. Okay. And then you hit the forward button and it moves it. Okay. Again, we're blocking out everything on the right. But if you did want to check and see, that roll was the best move. So there you can see that was the best one. So then you just keep moving forward. So the next roll now is a 5-1 for white. Maybe they're going to double hit. Maybe they just come and hit on the 7. So you make up your mind what that roll would be for you, and then you just click the forward button. And that's it. I mean, I know it sounds so simple, but it is so simple because as you go, you're just looking at what would I do, and then you're comparing. The nice part here is the speed at which you can do it. So once you do this for a little while, you can get faster at it to where now, okay, black's going to come in on the 24, maybe come down 13-10, maybe they come in on the 22 and 11-10, like whatever it is that you think should happen, you lock it in your head and then you hit the forward button. Okay. And then you ask, did I get it right? So you can see that when you're pushing this little button, you're just walking through the match and you're watching near perfect play because these two players have such low PRs that you know with pretty much confidence that they're playing the right move, but then you can check as well. So now we got double 5s. They've already moved the 13 to 3-2. Black is on roll. They're going to make the 7, right? Yep. Let's look. So fast forward, they made the 7. So let me pause here and answer any questions to this point. Anybody have any questions to this point?
Yes, I raised my hand. Are the results
Sure.
always shown? Even though you have in your mind what move you want to make versus what move they have probably made, are the results always visible, or is this something that you have to click on to drag to bring down?
So the only thing you're doing is hitting the forward button to move
Mm-hmm.
through. See how once you get going with it, you can
Okay.
move through here pretty quickly. And the correct moves are over here on the right.
Okay.
Um, but again, you just have to get good at mentally blocking that part of the screen out.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
tried different things to try and make it hide. I've enlarged the screen to try
Mm-hmm.
and, move it off to the right, but that doesn't
Okay.
seem to work. But the other thing you can do, take a piece of paper and just set it up,
Yeah.
and block it. And I did that for a while, but now I'm so used to it, I just go forward, 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 forward.
Okay.
The other thing you can do is you can go backwards as well. So it looks like we're on to game 2 here. So this is where you access the game. So did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you.
Right.
I've messed around with this before when you first
Mhm.
introduced it, but I think this is a very good idea.
I cannot I cannot sing enough praises. And it's so once you do it a few times, it's so simple and how to access it. And
Mm-hmm.
then the way that it's the pattern recognition. And there's some really cool stuff that comes out of it as well as we move through a match. I'll point those things out to you too.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of bang for a small buck. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
yeah.
All right. Thanks, Kristen.
Of
It
course, of course. Anyone
it
else
help.
have a question?
No, I think this is very helpful. I don't know if I have ADHD in my advanced years, but reading has become just, really strenuous. But watching the games and then watching this and then attending, the Friday night sessions, it like you said earlier, I'm a very visual person,
Yes.
right? Pattern
Yeah.
recognition. Yes. So this is extremely helpful.
So
Yes.
I have not quite a question, but this
Sure.
is super interesting and I'm glad you're presenting it. And this is absolutely something I'll do because I'm also a pattern person and a visual person.
Mhm.
But just the other day, Julius introduced this Backgammon Sage Pro, which uses the
Mhm.
AI to explain the moves. And I have been in a bit of a quandary. So later on, if we have time, I'd like to get you guys' opinions, get people's feedback about this idea of using AI to give you answers. Because I think there's a value in what you're talking about, which is the sort of repetitive thing where you're starting to recognize patterns. It's a different way of learning, I think, than being told the answer. So I'm going to ask you that later.
Absolutely. And I'd love to have that conversation because I think there's merits on both sides.
For sure, for sure.
Any other questions to this point? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to go backwards. So if you come up here to the top and you go menu back, that'll take you back to the matches list. You do need to re-engage the PR button if you're going to reorder them because it won't keep the order. But let me show you this as well. So for instance, you can come in here where it says white, or you could do the same thing for black. It doesn't matter. But you can come in here and you can start typing a name. And then if you wanted to, you can use the drop down and you can go find who you want to play. And let me show you Freddie, F-R-E. Hang on, I gotta go down a little bit. There was a game that was really interesting to me when I was walking through it, and there was a couple of things I wanted to show you with it. I don't know this gentleman, Freddie Noir, I don't know, but he played a match against a guy named Simon or Simon, depending on where you're from. Let's see here if I can find it. Nope, where did it go? But you can see there's so many matches in here. And if you look over to the right, they're old. They're not like new matches, but it doesn't matter because it's such a rich knowledge base, right? It doesn't matter when they were played. So let me show you something else with this. And then we're going to dive into this match and I'm going to show you a couple of moves and some of the pattern recognition type stuff that you can start to notice when you actually are doing a deeper assessment. So before when we started, I hit the play button and that's the one where you just go forward and backward, right? If you wanted to just play as Freddie, let's say, it shows it a little bit differently. And again, it's just a matter of what your learning style is. Do you prefer the forward and the backward, or do you want it to be more of a quiz? So let me show you this. So instead of play, if you hit play as and choose a player, it opens it up this way. And now you're going to go move by move in a quiz format. So here it's black on roll. We know they're going to make the 4-point, right? So you just click on this. And the nice thing is it does the moves for you so that you can see them. And then when you want one, you pick it and hit the submit button. And then it'll go on to the next one. And you can tell if you got it right by looking up here, to see, all right, did I get it right? And then it'll go on to the next one. And you're basically walking through this match with all of Freddie's move. It's always going to be black on roll. Okay. So it's a quiz format. If you like that, great. I don't like that as much because like you were just saying, I think that was Julia, the reading, right? Or I'm sorry if I got that wrong, who mentioned that, but like, I don't want to read through all of these. I just want to watch it, but if you like the quiz format, it's there for you. So again, you can just choose one and you can hit next. You can just keep going all the way through the match with Freddie. Any questions there?
You can also choose play as both, I believe. So then you have the
Yes.
quiz for both sides.
Yes. So that's exactly right. So that's what I was going to say. So we played as Freddie. If you want to just play as White and Simon, you could do that, or you can play as both. And now it's going to alternate, right? It's going to walk you through the match quiz style for each player. So again, that's just a preference thing if you want to do it that way. Again, we know that he was going to make the 4-point and now White's on roll and we come out with the 6, come down. So they're going to, whatever that is, 24 to 18, 13, 11. Let's check it. There we go. We got it. Okay. So that's just another way you can use the same matches list, but play it a little bit differently. Any questions on that? Okay. All right. So now I want to walk through this match just a little bit and kind of show you some of the other analysis that you can do, which is really interesting. Once you do this enough, you'll start to look at the answers and kind of the point of, should we use AI to tell us what the right answer is or not? I'd like to dive into the other moves and say, why wasn't that the move? You know, what was the liability of that move? You know, why wouldn't it have been the best play? So I'm gonna just play, and I'm gonna go to game 2, and I'm gonna go to move 5. Okay. So over here to the right, you guys are used to probably seeing this if you're using heroes or XG, but you see the equities and how much you're losing. But in this situation, white has already escaped all their back checkers. So in my mind, when this would happen, I'd be like, I don't know the best way to bring these guys around, right? Like, I know that I'm in a holding game. I know I'm behind, so I'm going to stay behind. But how do I get the checkers to make the board, right? Because I need to focus on making my board now while they're bringing their checkers around, and I can hopefully get a shot, you know, or not get smacked if I leave my anchor. So when you start looking from here forward, you can see that black's on roll. We got a 4-1. So do I bring down from the midpoint? Do I start slotting the interior points here? Like, if you look at the next few rolls, you can see that these equities are really small, right? So when you see that it's a 0.001 versus a 0.002 or a 0.004, you're noticing like it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference how you do it. The biggest thing is don't get off your anchor, right? So from here, if you move forward and watch blacks rolling, it's not a big deal if you want to do 13 to 8, or if you want to do 8 to, 11 to 7, 8 to 7, some of these top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves. So watch what happens. So, all right, black's coming in. They're going to start trying to make the board. Well, white's going to do its thing, trying to, build its prime and, bring in responsibly on its side. But look again, how does black come across the board and start making? When you look at the equities, it doesn't really matter, right? So in a way, by looking at the patterns from the moves you're not making, it shows you, hey, I have some freedom here. I'm not going to be making a bad move by bringing these over. So I don't know the exact right one to do. I don't know 11-5 is the top move, but my goodness, if I did 13 to 8, 11 to 10, I'm not getting penalized hardly for it, right? Because the equity is so low. Is that making sense? Are we good there? We have questions about what I'm getting at here? Can I get thumbs up if we're following?
Yeah, no, it's good. And it's also good because it lets you start understanding where you don't have to stress so much. And so you cannot waste energy on that.
Exactly. Exactly. Rather than agonizing over, oh my gosh, am I supposed to come off my midpoint, or am I supposed to slot the 5 or the 4? Now you can see there really isn't a whole lot of difference. So just get them over here and start making your board. It takes the stress off.
Right.
So that's one of the things that you'll notice when you do that. You'll be like, oh, wait, it didn't really make a difference what I did there. I mean, yeah, there's small differences, but I'm not going to beat myself up for it if I get not the first one, right? So again, as black is moving forward, 5-1, look at the equities. Barely makes a difference what you do. So that kind of awareness around your moving, you'll start to notice those patterns. Like, oh, this part doesn't make as big a deal. Just get them over there, right? Just pull them in, start building your board, and you're good. All right, so any questions before we move on to another game? Something else I wanted to show you?
Looks good.
Okay, thank you. We're going to go to game 3, and we're going to go to move 6. Okay. All right. So black is, or white's on roll, it can't get in. So we'll go forward from here. 13 to 9, 6 to 4. Okay, so we're making our board, right? Um, Notice that we're pulling in the builders to try and continue to make the board. I can't really move my back checkers anyway, but now that they're on the bar, we want to trap them as quickly as possible. So that's kind of cool. Um, let's see here. White's going to come in, it's going to hit 24, 20, 9 to 4. So again, we're just trying to get those checkers in so that we have more ammunition firing at the 2 point, right? So if we go back, you can see that we had to come in, but instead of pulling down from the midpoint, it wants us to bring in the 9 to 4. That's because right now the 9 can't hit the 2 directly. So if you've worked with Julius, I think he calls this the Julius count. Basically, it's just bringing in the builders, right? So that's why the 9 to 4. So you start noticing how how the game evolves towards your goal. So 4-3, they're going to do that. Again, 8 to 6, 8 to 5, because again, they really want to focus on, instead of bringing those builders down from the 13, because they don't connect to the 2. I mean, it would be good because you could still hit for the 7, but what I'm going for here is trying to recognize why the top roll is the top roll, right? And that is something that after you do this for a while, you'll start to pick up on, oh, I see now, because they're trying to bring in builders to make that point, or they're trying to stay on their anchor. And it's just really interesting over time, the patterns that you start recognizing. And the more that you do it, the more you'll see it. So any questions to that point? Am I
Kristen,
going?
I think
Yeah.
I think girl Joanna had a question in the chat. She doesn't
Oh,
quite
okay.
see where you're finding the equity. So if you could just point that out.
Yeah. Okay, sure, sure. So let me go backwards. Let me go back to game three. So over here, let me see here. Get to that move I was talking about. Game three, move six. Let me go back. I don't know. Let me go back to game two because that one's a good one. Game two, move five. Okay. So right here, Joanna, that was Joanna?
Yes.
Okay. So Joanna, right here, it tells you what the move is. That's number one. So in this case, 13-8 would be the best move. And it tells you here's your equity, right? And that's your top move. Now, if you were to choose the second one, see how much small, it's only 0.001 different. So that's how you can see how far off the second move is from the first move and how far off the third move is from the first move, and to see, how much of a difference in your PR is being affected by choosing move five versus move one. Does that make sense?
Kristen, how do you make that list show up?
It automatically shows up when you push the forward button. It's automatically sitting right here.
So as soon as you open a game, this list will come with it.
Yes. So let me go back. Let's say I choose, it doesn't matter which one you choose. So we hit the play like we've been doing. And there it is.
Okay.
Okay. And this is very much like,
I was wondering that too.
okay. Great question. Never would have thought that. Okay. So here's the difference in the equity. So this one is 0.015 off of the best. This is 0.033 off of the best move. So anytime you see the difference, that's the hit to your PR, right? And then green means error, whereas red means blunder. Are we good with what the green and the red means and how it knows, like what the thresholds are for that? Okay. Any other questions to hear? Okay. All right. So that in a nutshell is what I do. I pick a match, 2 low PRs, decent size match score, match length, so that I don't have to jump out and jump back into another one. And I just keep moving forward. So Double fours, I think we're going to hit on the 5. Yep, we do. And I'm just blocking that out. They're going to come in on the 3, come down to the 8. Yep, I got it right. They're gonna, what are we doing with this one? I'd like to hit, I don't know. I mean, this is where you block it out on the right, and then you make your move in your head, and then you push the forward and see if you got it right. That kind of thing. Okay. Okay. I know I just asked this, but any questions before we jump out and I'll show you something else? Okay. All right, so we're gonna go back. And we're going to go back again. So we're going to go all the way back to the main page. And there's this thing called, let's see here, where'd it go? Training ground. There's training tracks. And you can hit on, there's the matches list thing we did, but watch this. So you can play checker quiz. Okay. So if you choose that, it's going to give you just, if you've ever used Anki cards, it's like Anki cards, right? It's going to give you a move and it's going to ask you to, it's going to ask you what the best move is. So you can just continue to do this. And I think it like calculates how many you get right in a row. So this is just a way that you can get in here and have some practice on checker play. And you can just walk through the quiz questions. And if you do the same thing, you can do it with cube questions as well.
Oh, wow.
So it'll come in here and it'll just give you one cube question after another. You can see your match score here, so you know how many away you are. You can see, what kind of game it is. You can see your pip counts, and then you can make your decision and you hit submit, and you can just work through a bunch of cube quizzes, which is really awesome. So again, I'm going to go back out. You can also come over here to the training tracks. So if you click on training tracks, now look at all these different things that you can click into. These are all quizzes that you can click into and choose. So I heard someone say it earlier, Hitman, hit 1 or 2 or no hit. Less than 6 checkers off, is that going to be a cube question? Or how do you play your checkers at the end to make sure that you're allowing for the best, bear off for doubles, right? Like, check your doubles. Can I get off with 2s? Can I get off with 3s? And that'll help you decide where you're moving your last checkers when you're bearing off. Candlesticks, do you stack or not stack? There are so many different training tracks in here. You could spend a year going through these and probably not run out. Like, there's a lot in here. And it's just sitting here and nobody talks about it. But it's super cool that you can just get in here and choose what you want to work on and engage it. So race cube, is this a race cube? So do I have a double here? What's the situation? Look at the match score, look at the pip count, look at the structure, and make your decisions and then go from there. So that's just another really cool feature of Backgammon Studio. So I'm going to pause there. And are there any questions to this point? It's a lot of information. I know I threw it at you. So it's questions.
I think this is a double take.
Okay. We are
I want to
almost
know the answer to that too while we're here.
Okay, let's do it. So let's see here. And I am not the cube boss. I am, I'm in the thick of my learning curve. So let's see here. We got 96 to 89. They got a large stack. I think it's a double take. What do you guys think?
I think it's a double take.
I
also.
think so too.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I think it's a double pass. Although it's
Why?
close.
Why do you think it's a double pass? Let's talk about
I think it's a double. Well, I mean, it's very, very, very close, so it is probably a double take because the actually You know what? Never mind. I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I mean,
Okay.
part of me who's proposing the double, black or
It
white?
would be black on roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Bottom
yeah. So
players on roll.
okay, okay. Then yes, it would be. I think it would be a double pass if black is proposing the double. Um, because of the how far back, like the one on the 13 and the 16, it's going to take them a little bit longer to get in. But the advantage of taking the double is the fact that um, the stacking. But see, there's less stack, and the checkers are back more. So
Mhm.
if it's a double, it would be a close call, but I would probably pass it unless I'm counting on luck.
Yeah, the other thing here, and this is where maybe we need Arena or Karen to jump in and talk to us about take points. And it's early in the match still, but usually, I mean, there's only 7 pips different, right? So
Mhm.
is that enough?
Think
Do we really want that to be
typically
more like 9 or 10, you know?
typically in normal scores, you can take 10% plus 2 pip. So
Hmm.
89, 10% is roughly 9 plus 2 is 11. So 89 plus 11 is 100. So if you have 100 pips or less, you can take. This will be a take.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. So I think
Probably
so
at any
too.
score, actually.
I need to learn that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
I need to,
But
because
that's what
I
we're
do
doing.
pattern recognition. I need to learn the equities and the what you can take at and so on and so forth.
You're
that's a
doing
deep
great.
dive. Yeah, if you know that stuff, man, you're on your way to being a superhero because that stuff is a deep dive for sure.
Yeah.
And I would love, someone to walk me through all of that stuff. Really and do a deep dive with me. I know what I've read, and you guys probably know what you've read, you've seen, you've heard from commentators and stuff, but until you actually put it into practice match after match, it's like you can memorize it, the equity table, or you can, use Neil's numbers or whatever, but unless you're practicing it, it vanishes. It's one of those skills that just kind of what's the word? It goes extinct, right? So, all right, let's see if we have a double take here.
You know,
Woo!
Kristen, if I could just say a couple of things.
Yeah, please.
You know, I think this is a hard for me, double doubling decisions. So the first things that I note, as you said, and Arena is the one who kind of emphasized the race, is that you can double if you're 10% minus two. So the fact that you've got 89 pips in that lower right part of the board, you see the number 89. So black has 89 pips, and 10% of that is 9 minus 2 is 7. So up in the upper right is 96, which is White's pip count, and 10% of that, 10% we stick with the leader. 9 plus 2 is 11. So the doubling window, you can double if you're 7 ahead, and you can take if you're no more than 11 behind. So that's the first thing. The other thing, I squinted really hard and I saw the match score.
Yeah.
Black is ahead 1-0 in a match to 7. So that kind of tamps me down as black about doubling and makes me a little less inclined to double. But I think when you get to this point, for me, I almost switch over to thinking about crossovers. So, yes, both black and white have 4 checkers yet to get into their inner board. But I forget who made. Well, the first point is that black's on roll, so black's going to get 2 in right away. So then black's going to be 2 ahead in the crossover count. But whoever made the point about that white checker on that 13 point, getting this, you need a 6 to get it in with just one try. So likely black is going to be three crossovers ahead after an exchange of roles. And then if I'm white, I don't really want to take being three crossovers behind if black rolls on the next time. So it's better to do it now while they'll take, and then you can get 2 points instead of just 1 point. And sometimes when I miss a cube or don't think about it, I say, Karen, did you not want 2 points? So it tries to encourage me to do that. So again, the main point is the one that Arena made. You just knowed at this point of the race that black is 10% -2 ahead in the pip count, and white is 10% is better than 10% +2, so white can take. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's awesome. I love that. Um, so yeah, so from here you can just say next, or you can go out and see what other ones are out here.
I
So,
think Stephanie had a question
okay,
too.
yes, please. I don't see all the questions, so sorry about that.
No, no, excuse me, no worries. Um, so on this, Karen or Kristen or anybody else, is there, I'm sure there are, should I just punch in? Because I have not, I've been playing backgammon. I've played like y'all, zillion games, not a zillion, but you know what I mean. I play it all the time.
Mhm.
So, and I need to learn the equity and things of that nature. Do I just punch that in, or does the Women's World of Backgammon, does that have, or there, should I just scroll through there and try to find them, or they're a good book or videos? If you guys could recommend anything to me on how to learn, how where to go to learn this.
The equity table.
Correct.
Who did that? Was that Kit? Kit did that, right? Um, it's out there. Uh,
Okay, just Google it.
I'll see if I can put my hands on. I think that was Kit. Karen, isn't that Kit that came up with the equity table originally and published it, or was that I don't remember. But yeah, I'll figure out where that is and I can send that out to the group.
Okay, yes, I that would really be appreciated because what the gal, I can't remember the person who just went through that just a few minutes ago. I can't remember her name, but that was great. You know, you can
Mhm.
when you're seven, if you're not down by 11 pips, you can take so on and so forth. And I've
Mhm.
never heard that before. So
That is
I
all
have like
at a normal score. Sorry.
oh no,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
That is all at a normal score. And then, it varies. If you're leading in the match by a lot of points, then you have to adjust and perhaps not double uh, right away. So it changes as the score changes in the match. But, as we know, it gets pretty complicated. So
Yeah, it can
Yeah.
definitely
little
get
little by
complicated.
little, you'll find that you need that information as you play more.
Okay.
Hmm.
You
Thank you.
know,
Absolutely.
I know there's somewhere in Extreme Gammon that you can find things like um, equity tables. So we could have a speaker maybe talk to us about some of those techniques, but you have to find the learning style that works for you. I always recommend to people who are just starting out and who learn by reading, and I grew up in an age before there were these software packages like Extreme Gammon, and so I read books. But anyway, the late newer books that I find helpful and easy are Michi. I always recommend Michi Kajiyama's three books. He has one called Opening Concepts and one called In-Game Technique. So I'm sure the in-game technique covers a lot of these kinds of positions of when to double when you're in a no contact race. And then his latest one is called Back Checker Strategy, when you just have maybe a single checker back and how to get it home. Um, so for some people, learning comes through books. Others is playing Backgammon Studio, like Kristen is showing us here, or watching matches with really good expert commentary. There are a lot of matches on YouTube, including on the Women's World of Backgammon channel that features a lot of the top women players playing. But I like to watch when there's great players playing, when there are great commentators commentating. I think, Stephanie, you made that point earlier. But I also like it when there's something called XG feed, so Extreme Gammon telling you what's the best play or gives you the best equity, that kind of lower right table that Kristen was pointing to on the screen here. To have that kind of running on the side, that to me is the best learning experience. You've got the value of all of that. And, you may have differences between the player and the commentator's not always right. And then you get the XG equities, and neither the commentators nor the players were always right. So it gives you a lot to think about. So.
Hey, Chris,
For
Kristen,
sure.
it's Gina. I copied the link, and it was Kit that did the table.
Yeah,
So
that's what
it's
I
in the
thought.
chat. I put it in the chat. So if anybody
Yeah,
wants
is
to,
that in his backgammon encyclopedia? Was it in that one, I
if
think?
you just type in match equity, it pops up and it says
Mhm.
it by Kit Wilsey. And then also Neil had a little commentation on there too. So if you just go
Cool,
to that
cool.
link, it'll show you everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Gina. Um, and then going back to the commentator thing, like there's a lot of great commentators out
Oh,
there.
for
And
sure.
I learn by seeing and listening. I'm not a reader. I can't. I'm ADHD out the wazoo. You put a book in front of me and I would be like, I am not doing it. I force myself through some of these books, but it's so difficult for me. But the UBC matches, because you have
Yes,
grandmasters playing grandmasters and usually commentated by grandmasters with the XG feed, those things are fire, man. They are so good, so good. I
agree.
highly
I
recommend
agree.
those.
Yes.
Yeah, let me turn my phone down. Okay. So, all right. Do we feel like we have a good understanding of what Backgammon Studio can do for you? Anybody have any questions before we move on? Because I have something else I want to show you that's also very cool. Okay. All right. So Backgammon Studio is great for finding the old matches, just to summarize, finding the old matches, finding the PRs where both players have really low PRs, finding a decent match length, and then playing with the fast forward and the backward thing, right? That is my go-to. I do that maybe 30 minutes in the morning when I wake up, 45 minutes an hour. Um, you know, I just open my computer and that's how I kind of wake up. I just walk through two or three matches and then I'm on with my day. But that reinforcement is cumulative, right? After you do it for a week, you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna play that move differently now. Or oh, now I see why they're coming out or instead of coming down. It's really great. But I want to take you to, and this is great for the training tracks and all the quizzes and stuff like you can do here. So that's Backgammon Studio. I want to go over to XG now because there's something in XG that I have found also recently that is also just, I think, incredible. Can everybody see my screen okay? You see I switched over to XG?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and I have a workflow for this too, and I can send that to everyone who's here today, and I can throw it in another email, for resources and whatever. But when you go to XG and you hit new match, I don't know if you guys have found this. It took me a minute to find this, and I had to use AI to tell me how to do it. But you go over here to players, and you can play. You can make it. Here's me, right, playing XG, or you can make XG play XG. So now we're talking about perfect play, not two players that have really low PR, perfect play. And you can even select the XG Roller Plus and the XG Roller Plus Plus. Now, if you do the plus plus, it's going to take it a minute. It's going to be thinking through things, right? So I usually just pick the plus because now I know that the computers are going to basically end up with 0 PRs on both sides. And it's just, I love watching perfect play. So once you get that, you can go back over here to game type. I typically do a 7-point match, and I hit, okay. So now it started. And notice how it goes too fast for you to sit there and see the roll, look at the board, and come up with the move, right? It's just, I couldn't keep up with it. And I was like, I really want to keep up with perfect play, but I just can't. So what happens is when you start it, if you go and you click on the button to review one of the moves, it like starts going in warp speed where it'll just finish the match and just watch it. So it'll take a minute, I mean, maybe 2, but it is just speed rolling through the entire match. And I just sit here and I let it finish. And if you do the XG roller, it goes faster. Oh, and it killed it. Sometimes that does happen. So let me go back. I'll do it with the roller so that you can see how fast it goes. I don't know if that's a me thing or if that's an XG thing, but sometimes the XG plus or the XG plus makes it like it glitches out and it dies. So I'm going to go back to players. I'm going to choose computer. We'll just do the XG roller. Same thing here, just so it goes faster. I know it's a 7-point match. I've got XG playing XG. I hit go. And again, even with the XG without the plus and the plus plus, it goes too fast to really like keep up. But click on a move and look at it. So this match will be over very quickly. So we're just going to let it play on.
It might be a way to make it moves in the settings. There might be a way to put the animations to go slower, but I'm not sure. I will have to research and let everyone know.
Yeah, and I think there is a way. I think you're right, Arena, but what I noticed is it's faster for me just to let the match finish. So it should be done here pretty soon. Can't see here. Yeah, we're at 5, 2 away, 3 away, and it looks like it's done. Okay, so once the match finishes, then you just go back up here to the top. And now it's the same thing as Backgammon Studio. You're just using this button right here, just the 1 forward arrow, not the 2. And now it's the same functionality as Backgammon Studio. But now you're watching perfect play.
Could you minimize your screen a little bit so we can see what you have?
Can you not see my screen?
I see half of it because it's large.
It might be on your side. I see it perfectly.
Yeah, I see it perfectly too. I think it's on your end.
So it's on my side. That's okay. I'm sorry.
No, no problem. So again, once it's done, you go back to the first move, you come down here to the single arrow, and now it runs you step by step through the play. It's perfect play, which is what I love. I want to see perfect play because then I can model it, right? Then I can mimic it. And you learn as you go by looking at the equities and stuff like that, because you still have the option of going over here to the left and looking at the cube play versus the move versus the summary. So you still have that, but it's not as big and imposing as what you see in Backgammon Studio. So, so I use this as well. And now I just walk through. All right, 6-1, I'm going to hit on the 1. Okay. Now 6-3, I can't come in. 5-2, I'm going to come in. I can't hit. So do I come out? Or do I hit on the 4? I don't know. Let's see. I come out. All right. And you know that the move that is made is the best move every time. So it just kind of cuts down on the analysis. But then if you don't understand something, you can go back to the move and say, okay, why wasn't this the first move? Why wasn't that? You know, and kind of work your way down and see the patterns. They wanted you to come out. They didn't want you to bring anything else out, you know. So the best 1 or 2 moves were to come out. as opposed to hit or something like that. So you can start drawing these conclusions, right? These you can start creating your own patterns of recognition. So that's how you use Backgammon Studio, and that's how I use XG to help me watch perfect play so that I can mimic it, basically. I'm really good at mimicking pattern recognition, and I learn as I go. So that's kind of that. So what questions can I answer for you?
I don't really have any questions, but I want to say thank you for slow walking us through this and pointing
Yeah,
everything out as you go along to help us understand better if we don't understand something. Thank you.
absolutely. My pleasure.
And I think
What?
somebody had mentioned it earlier. Um, the Sage. I've been
Mhm.
I went to a training. Well, I didn't. I was on Zoom or whatever it was, but so
Oh,
I'm on. I signed up for it, and it's actually really good. It uses somebody mentioned it. It uses AI as you make the moves, and then if you want it, and you can fully analyze the game or the match depending on how you set it up. You can't play against people. It's just you against a bot, but you can play a friend on the same device. So I'm sure they'll develop it out. So do you
Yeah.
know much about Sage or?
I haven't tried it personally yet. Um,
Mhm.
I will go try it. Believe me, anything I
Yeah,
can use to help me get better is what I want to do.
yeah, definitely try it because it like I said it helps with because I like it a lot of like the a lot of the other lady said pattern recognition, but it'll explain why. Hey, why did I come in on the 5 and go to the 7? Why did I come out? And it
Mhm.
goes through that. So it's really
Well,
Yeah, I'll
it's been
definitely take a look then.
really
Yeah,
really helpful to me.
we'll make a note of that and have somebody present Sage. I had it demonstrated to me this week. And it's very interesting. And I think there's going to be explosion of AI tools, and maybe we can have a number of those presented to the group if you're interested. But I'd
Yeah.
like to just wrap up the session. First of all, thanking all of you who've come and attended and asked such great questions. But for first, I'd also like to thank my colleague, Arena Litzenberger, who serves on the Women's World of Backgammon board, as does Kristen. I forgot to mention that in the introduction. She is a new member of the board of the Women's World of Backgammon and has uh, designed a new website for us. So we hope you'll check that out at Women's World of Backgammon. Uh, but first and foremost, I would like to thank Kristen for her presentation this evening. It's wonderful to find these resources, and I think backgammonstudio.com is still free if I'm right, or you may need a membership in Heroes. I don't know. I signed up so many decades ago. But still hadn't discovered all that the wealth of learning opportunities there are embedded in it. So thank you, Kristen, for
You're
explaining
welcome.
it. As she said,
Absolutely.
happy to make this handout available to all of you. And it was in the
Mhm.
announcement. If you got the announcement
Mhm.
of the session, you can click on it and get that handout. So
Right.
again, thank you for coming, and thank you to Kristen for doing
My
this
pleasure.
at a busy time in her life, getting ready for
London next week, tournament, yeah, house, yeah, it's all good. No, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to share. I love doing this. I love learning backgammon and looking forward, you know, using something like this to where we can just walk through and analyze the play, I think would be so powerful as well. And doing a deeper dive on the equities versus, why the first move, why the second move, why the third move, and what's the pattern. As soon as it hits into an error, why is it an error? What's the pattern of the errors? I think there's so much information there to analyze that I mean, we could take it to another level just by analyzing the variety of errors and blunders and how they're clumped together. So, yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Good
Thank
to
you
see you
so
guys.
much.